Hello friends, welcome here. My name is O-Sheena. I'm glad that you clicked on this video. I am going to be sharing my 2025 reading goals and a 2025 TBR, like my must-reads list, and then I'll quickly recap my 2024 goals. I like making goals, but I also don't quite follow them. Like, they're just suggestions, I guess I could call them, but they are still fun to share, and I thought this would be interesting. I love watching goal videos, so that's why I want to make my own, but I'm not necessarily like holding myself to these goals. Life is crazy. You never know what each year is going to bring. So right now I can make these goals, but it might not work out, months from now. So that is fine. So I'll go over my 2024 goals first, and then I'll tell you what my new ones are. So I'll link timestamps down below if you want to skip around. So 2024, I did make a spread in my bullet journal, and I will go over this. So didn't do great, gonna be honest, it's fine. But first, number one is read 88 books, which I did. I've read a lot of books. Yeah, it's been a pretty good year. It's because I have included audiobooks now in my regular reading time, so I do get through books quicker because of that. So I have read well over 88 books, which is great. And then complete my reading challenge, which I did. I just have to find the page. Yeah, okay, I haven't actually updated it yet, but I did complete it. So that's really exciting. That's my second year doing that. And so I'm proud of that. And then next was read 12 books from my physical TBR, which I was tracking somewhere. Yeah, once again, I haven't updated it. There's 2 books missing, but I haven't actually touched this like for a couple weeks. So I think I have done that. I just don't know it. Okay, and then do 2 Bible studies. So I only did 1, but that's fine. Like, I didn't technically own 2. I only owned 1, and I did the one that I owned, and then that was it. So I'll leave it at that. Like, I'm okay with it. Like, I read my Bible. That was the whole point, was just to like prioritize that. So I'm fine with it. And then read my nonfiction TBR, which I honestly don't even know what it is. I didn't write it in this journal. It's in my video from last year. Didn't rewatch that video, so I have no idea what the TBR is. So moving on, who cares? And then read my fiction TBR. That's what this is. So I have not read 2 of the books on it. I don't plan to read them, but I did read the Mirror Harbor trilogy. Can't Help Falling, The First Taste, You Belong With Me, One Wrong Move, and Invitation. But then I did not read Shattered Rose or Season to Love. So it's fine. So those were my goals. That was it. So good for me. Kind of whatever. It's fine. Okay. So on to 2025 though. Okay. So once again, I'm keeping this light and easy, but I'm still going to put some things because I think it's fun. Okay. So I toyed with the idea of making my reading goal be 100, because I'm like, I've made it 88 books for 2 years in a row, and I've read over 100 books for 2 years in a row, but I'm really comfortable with the 88 now, and I don't really want to push that. So I'm going to keep it at 88. I probably will still read more than that, but I'm just going to put 88 and feel good about that. It's just nice. Like, maybe I'll put it up to 90, but even then, like, I just like making my reading goal be 88 books. So there you go. So next I want to complete my reading challenge, which I do plan to do. I don't know if I have a page in here because this is my old journal. I have set up my 2025 journal. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it down below, which I guess maybe I should have in this video. Okay. Here is my journal. So pretty. I literally love this color. If you haven't seen my setup video, it's really short. You can just like whiz through it, but I recommend watching it. So my reading challenge, I want to complete it for 2025, which I do believe I will, because it's really easy. That's why I made this challenge, because I wanted something easy to do, and that's what this is. So yay me. You know what I realized? I didn't actually write my goals in here, did I? Maybe, okay. Maybe I'll write them right here. This could be what I use this page for, is my goals. Good idea. Okay, because in my video I was like, I don't really know what I'm going to do with this page. My reading goals, duh. Okay, good idea. I'll do that after this. Okay, so next up I want to reread 3 books, and I already have in mind which 3 books I want to reread, but, well, I guess there's technically 4 that I want to reread, but I will tell you that when I get to the TBR part. But yeah, I want to reread at least 3 books, which my plans will make me do, but just in case, I want to put that there. And then I want to read 6 nonfiction books. I picked 6 because I'm thinking like it's like half of the months of the year, and so like every other month I want to read a nonfiction book kind of thing. because I did not read that many in 2024, and I'm kind of bummed about that. I like nonfiction, but I just like to have a good time and escape. And fiction does that for me, not nonfiction. But I learned so much from nonfiction, which I like. So whatever. 6 nonfiction books. We'll see if I can do it. And I want to read my anticipated releases, which I did make a spread for right here. There's kind of a lot of them, which I'm surprised. But some of these I may lose interest in once they actually get here. So, you know, I'll put attempt to read my anticipated releases, because also if the library doesn't get them in, then I can't read them. So then I do want to read the whole New Testament in 2025, so I have a little spread for that. And then once I finish the New Testament, I'm hoping I finish it like, you know, with some months to spare. So I'll start working on the Old Testament under here once that happens. But for now, for sure, I want to read the New Testament, and then we'll see how much of the Old Testament I can get to. And then next, I want to keep up with my Patreon, because I do plan to start a Patreon in the new year, and I just want to give it a year worth of time. We'll see, like, life is lifing, life happens, money is tight, whatever, like all the things. So if it does fall apart, I'm totally okay with that, but I want to give it a shot. So I want to keep up with it and really build a community and get to know you guys even better, because so many of you already feel like you're my friends. The way that we interact, I can just tell, like, oh, we would be friends in real life. So I feel like Patreon's going to give me that chance to get closer to you guys, which I'm really looking forward to. So I want to keep up with it. If you want to learn more about Patreon, I am going to make a whole separate video for it, announcing it, sharing about the tiers and the perks and the cost and all of the things, and like when it's going to start. That video will, I plan to bring it out on Boxing Day, the day after Christmas. So you'll see that in a couple weeks. So this one is like a stretch goal, and I don't know if it's the right time, but it's on my mind. So I'm like, okay, I'll just put it in here. But I want to write a chapter of a potential book. I have really been considering writing my own romance book, and I don't know if I have the skill for it, but I have ideas now, which before I never had ideas, but I now have some. And I just want to see if I can even write a chapter of it. And I don't even know if that's the best place to start. Probably you should like map out some characters and some plots before you just start writing. But I think I want to start writing and just see what comes out and see what's usable. Not that it's going to turn into anything, but, and not that, like, I don't even know if I'll even want to do that. But for now, like, that's what is calling to me, is just like, try writing a chapter of a book that you would publish if you could. And maybe I'll do that this year. So that's what I'm thinking. The Patreon will probably get updates about that. And then if I have a real update that's actually useful, I'll tell you guys. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I've just been thinking about possibly writing a book. Okay. Just want to put that out there. Okay, to the TBR, you guys. I am very excited about these books. Some of them are outside of my comfort zone. Some of them are not. And I think some of them you will be excited about. So I'm excited to share these. This would be what I consider my fiction TBR for 2025, my must reads that I really want to prioritize, but I also don't care if I don't end up reading them. Okay, everything's fine, because a couple of these I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, don't do it. But just to spice it up, you know, just to keep it interesting, just to keep you watching. Okay, so to keep you watching, the first one is Anne of Green Gables. Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. This is a Canadian classic that I have never read. I have seen all of the movies from way back in the day. Like, my mom got us to watch through them, and they were fine, but I was like, I'm not reading that book though. And here it is. I have it. Should I read it? I'm so worried that I'm not going to like it. I think I'm going to think it's boring. Like, it's historical. It's just about this little girl. Like, I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I want to give it a shot potentially next year. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. I do know, like, I know Anne, I know Gilbert, I know, what's her, like, mom's name? What's her name? I don't know. It starts with an M, right? See, I actually don't know anything. Marilla, is that it? This is set in Canada on Prince Edward Island, which I've never been there, but it's Canadian, which is cool, and people like it. Like, across the world, people like it, right? So that's really cool, and I'm Canadian and I haven't read it. So I really feel the need that I need to, like, also I've never read from this author at all, and I own this book. So here's the first one. I'll probably make a video for it sometime, but I'm also like, low priority, just gonna say that. But it's on my shelf and maybe it'll happen. Okay, next, I did mean to read this book this year, but I'm just not going to get to it. It's Yours Truly, Thomas by Rachel Fordham. This will be the last book by her that I need to read. I am technically, well, I'm planning to read A Lady in Attendance this month. If I don't, then both of these will be on there, but I'm planning to bring A Lady in Attendance with me when I go home for Christmas, so hopefully that gets read before the new year. But then this will be the last Rachel Fordham book that I need to read, and then I've read her to zero, and I want to read it. So yeah, it's Yours Truly, Thomas. This one is a stiff book, so it doesn't like stay open nicely, so maybe that's why I left it to last. And then I do know it's like, well, I assume it's more epistolary because it's about like she's reading letters that she found. So usually I don't like letters, but Rachel Fordham's letters are so cute usually, so I think it'll be fine. And I definitely want to read this author to zero because I love her, and I don't know what her next book is going to be, because what are the plans? Where's the publishing? Yeah. So this might be the last book that I can read from her for a little bit, which makes me sad, but I want to read it. So there you go. Okay, then I want to start reading more from Lynette Eason because I have really enjoyed her short stories. Like I read one from whatever this one is, Targeted, and then Cornered as well, and I really liked them. But and I have read Life Flight, and then I forget what the second one is called, but I gave Life Flight 5 stars, but it's been a long time, like I don't even remember the book. So I gave it 5 stars, but like it didn't really last, so probably more like 4 stars. But so anyways, I want to see if I'll like this series. I think it's about female bodyguards, which I think is going to be fun. I think this is a 4-book series, and I own this first book. I want to read it, so I'm putting it on the TBR because I just want to see if I can like more of Lynette Eason's books. This is older, so maybe her writing won't be as good or whatever, but I'm hoping there's more romance. I don't know. Sometimes she plays like more like 50-50 romance with suspense, whereas I like a little bit more romance, but we'll see. Maybe this will be okay. And I just want to read this or get rid of it. So that's kind of the plan there. Okay, to keep you here even longer, guys. I don't know, I probably have already showed this book in a vlog potentially that you've seen, I'm not sure, but if this is your first time seeing this, I now own this book. Beautiful giant hardcover of The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. Okay, I was planning to do like a separate reading vlog for this book in November, but November really just got me in a chokehold, so I did not have the mental capacity to read a book like this, and I wanted to give it a fair shot. And then plus I kept losing the audiobook because I only would get the skip the line loans, and those are only a week long, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna take longer than a week to read this book probably, I don't know. So I didn't want to rush it, and plus I want to make a video for it, and I don't have time. So anyways, now that I own this book, all I have to do is like kind of wait for the audiobook to come through. So it's kind of weeks, there's weeks of what? The wait time is still weeks long. Okay, so that's good for me because when it does come, maybe it'll be like February or March, and then I'll be ready to read this book. So that's the plan. And I do want to make a video for it just because like this is iconic, people love this book, and I'm really curious about my thoughts. If it's boring to me, I won't make a video because I'm not here to bash this book. I really want to like this book, but I'm really afraid as well. I have to be like so prepared to just embrace the historicalness, which usually I'm not prepared. So that's the thing. But now I own this, so no pressure to like get to it at a certain time. And yeah, I found this in a little free library, you guys, which is perfect. So yeah, that was such a score. Like it was the best book in there too. I was like, oh, like literally it was just sitting there, and I'm like, ah, it's meant to be. So I grabbed it, and here we are. So it's kind of like the giant hardcover, so it doesn't sit perfectly on my shelves, which is annoying, but that's okay. So this is on the TBR because I do think I'll at least give it a try in 2025. I don't know if I'll actually get it read or like if I'll even like it, if I'll DNF it, I don't know, but I'm gonna try it. So very excited about this. I hope I like it, guys. And then for the rereads, you guys, number 1, I want to reread Reckless because I want to annotate all of these books. Reckless was a 4-star. I mean, I loved Powerless way more. However, the lines in this book between Peyton and Kai must be studied and must be annotated. So I do own this paperback copy. I mean, for Powerless, guys, like, just look at this collection here, you know? I don't have 2 Powerfuls because that's okay, which honestly, I should annotate this one too. Just add this to the reread. Why not? And honestly, might as well just reread Powerless too. Like, why not? So anyways, you guys already know, Powerless was my favorite book from 2023. And so I bought this copy. And then I bought this copy so that I could annotate it. So I have 2 copies of Powerless, and then just 1 copy of Powerful. That's fine, which I still want to annotate. And then this is the book that I pre-ordered, Reckless. I pre-ordered it with the Indigo exclusive, but I think normally the petals are red, but they're like blue for the exclusive one. So I read this, and I didn't annotate it because I want like a perfect condition. So then I bought this so that I could annotate it, okay? And like I wanted, you know, the paperback collection to be complete, which it really, like this looks great. Right? So I'm gonna be doing the same thing with Fearless, you know. But anyways, want to reread Reckless for sure, and then we'll see what else ends up being reread. You know. Okay, and then lastly, I want to reread the Hunger Games trilogy because it's been years since I've read it, and I never read the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, something like that. I did try to start it, and I thought it was extremely boring, so I DNF'd it, and I was like, okay, I'm over it. But I may be in the mood for it if I reread this trilogy. And really I want to do this because I want to read the new one that's coming out, which I don't even know what it's called actually, but it's Haymitch's story, which I for sure want to read, which, did I write it down in here? I may have. Yeah, Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. It comes out March 18th. So that means I kind of have to like get going with my reread if I want to read it like soon. So yeah, I want to reread the Hunger Games and then potentially actually read the Songbirds and Snakes one, which I don't know if I actually will. We'll see. I don't care about President Snow. But I heard, like, I haven't even watched the movie because I'm like, well, I want to read the books first, but like, I don't know. Yeah, but then Sunrise on the Reaping, I'm hoping that I'll like that book better. So I may just read the trilogy and then that book and skip Songbirds and Snakes. But anyways, so for rereading though, Hunger Games trilogy, and those were like the 3 books I was picturing, but then I forgot about Reckless, and then now Powerful as well, and then probably Powerless. So yeah, rereading 3 books is definitely going to happen. I like achievable goals, you know? Okay, that is everything for this video. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I'm excited. Lots of good books, lots of good goals. I would love to hear what your top goal is for the year if you make goals. Do you make like a reading goal? Do you use Goodreads? Like I do use Goodreads. I'll link my Goodreads down below. That's how I track the books that I read. Yeah, I'd be curious, like if you do make goals, what is your top one that you're gonna focus on? Because I think that'd be interesting. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this, you guys. I'll link anything down below that I mentioned. I'll write the books down below. And yeah, thank you again for spending this time with me. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.